Good evening, good morning if you are in the States, good afternoon if you are still somewhere in Central or Eastern Europe. My name is Aif. This is episode 126 of 343. Tonight I think we're gonna have a chilled one, guys. Let's not be raucous. Let the banter not flow. Joining me, as always, my trusted co-host, Jason Ziyaad. Ziyaad, how you doing?
Yeah, right, bro. I don't know if it's gonna be chilled. Whenever you say that, then crazy things happen. Before we even went online, we saw AQ pulled into the chat. So, man, that's a big surprise already.
I think I got him with a thumbnail. Do you think that could be it? I pulled him in, got him excited. Jason, how you doing?
I'm alright, man. I'm just fearing for AQ because nice friends are lying to him. I don't think Brian Mbeumo is coming. And don't you dare say that there'll be no banter. This is why the people are here. They're here to hear us band off. But yeah, I've been good. It's just really cold. You said good morning, good afternoon, but good evening from a chilly Cape Town. Weather is not playing along. My hands are frozen, but yeah, happy to be here. Let's make it warm.
Lekker, man. That's what we need you to do. You always bring the heat somehow.
The
So
fire starter,
to
maybe, yeah, but
the
that's only
fire
if
starter,
reality here. Yeah.
but there's
Yeah,
nobody in the chat to ignite that fire. Oh, there we go. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for this guy to appear because we're going to start off with the Club World Cup, with the review. And as we see here in the chat, I don't know who Ronald is, but okay.
Yeah.
Is
I'm gonna let
London and
Ziyaad
England
handle
blue
him.
or
yeah.
is it gold?
I'm gonna let Ziyaad handle him.
Look, all I need to ask you is, Jason, since you went to school with this, brah, why does he only talk after the stuff is done, man? Like before
Standard
before
practice.
the tournament or before the final or anything, he'll never say anything. But you'll only say it afterwards, and then he'll pretend like he knew it was coming, but then he's crying half the
Yeah.
time that it's not gonna happen. But you must
No,
enjoy it, man. It's well deserved.
I'm not gonna what you're talking about here, no. But I'm gonna say, um, yeah, nah, congrats, Chelsea, man. Cheers. I don't know if London and England is blue, but yeah, you almost have to get a bit lucky when you spend $1 billion. One of the cards have to fall right in a made up tournament in a made up time. Something has to click. I didn't expect it to click the way it did. I think PSG were like, "Yo, okay, guys, we are done." But credit to Chelsea, they obviously had to show up, score the goals, and yeah, PSG were just nowhere. All of our chats last week were saying PSG gonna run it, and nah, they
But
showed us
that's the thing of
Do you
tournament
think?
football, right? It's if you get your tactics right, which I think they did. I think they were very smart
Yeah,
to play Reece James in midfield. I thought that
Yeah,
was a master stroke. And if you look at the stats and stuff, they didn't have possession. They didn't do much. They just literally sat back, won the ball, counted, and took the chances they
yeah,
got. And you see that happen quite often in these types of games where you get a bit of a counter punch. And it's much easier. I think most teams are built to play on the counter attack nowadays than they are, when they're playing favorites and when they have a lot of possession. There are very
mm,
few teams that actually do well with all that possession. Liverpool comes to mind. Obviously, last season they did very well with possession. PSG do quite well often with possession. But if you set up the way Chelsea were with that pace and that midfield, which they had, and obviously Cucurella, he did his Hulk impersonation again. He does some crazy things from time to time.
yeah,
And he locked that flank down again. He's actually come on. I know AF, I think you chose him as one of your better players last season. So
mm,
tactical masterclass, I think they got it spot on. And things didn't just fall for PSG, man. They had tons of opportunities, bruh. They had
yeah.
lots of
they got into
chances.
the box. Yeah.
Yeah. So, tournament
So
football,
like
crazy.
in the post match press conference, Enzo Maresca said, like, in the first 10 minutes, they basically won the game. They knew that they're going to win the game. And I don't think that's really true, because there was that one chance that Due had, and he squared it to Ashraf Hakimi, I think it was, that was standing in the middle. And he could have taken that goal on, like, he would have scored, but he wanted to be unselfish and, like, squared off. If he scored that goal, it's a totally, completely different ball game, because then PSG have the upper hand and Chelsea has to, like, basically chase the game. So I don't quite buy the fact that you said that within the first 10 minutes we knew that we are going to win, or that we won the game in the first 10 minutes. But yeah, well done to Chelsea. They are now the first FIFA Club World Cup champions, because FIFA have now rebranded all the previous Club World Cup wins as the FIFA Intercontinental Champion. So Chelsea are now the first FIFA Club World Cup champion. And I don't know if that's just a label that Infantino now, because he likes the limelight, like his friend Donald Trump handing over that trophy.
That's bad.
But Jason, even what do you think about changing? I think Donald's wanting to put through like an order to change soccer to football. And that's like
officially.
Officially, he's just gonna.
Man attended one final, one football game, and he's like, okay, I'm in, guys, I'm in. But yeah, Jason, what do you think that that's just like a label, or like a something to go like that people's not really going to take that seriously? Like, people who've won the Club World Cup before in the past, they will still be adamant that they won it. It shouldn't be categorized as an intercontinental championship.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. So I mean, the whole format of this one came about so odd. So I don't think you can really classify it. Yeah, friendly, a friendly championship. Teams play 60 to 70 games, and then they must go compete in a tournament at the end of it. And you saw some teams didn't give anything, and then you had teams like maybe from the South American region that wanted to prove something, that they could actually compete. So you had that. But yeah, to suddenly rebrand it now after Chelsea wins it. I'm not saying. I mean, they would have probably rebranded after anybody won it, but yeah, the fact that it's being rebranded is just, it's kind of crazy. Again, it just talks to the way people are trying to make this change, and it's just, don't fix something that's not broken. Don't try and, like, innovation is great, but don't start with your let's get ready to rumble before the game. This isn't one of those. And again, it just speaks to what we were talking about last week. Football's going in a really different direction, and I'd say it's a bit disheartening. But yeah, who am I? I'm just a simple man who enjoys to watch football.
Even if it's running the players into the ground. But yeah, do you guys think that this trophy, or this method for the Club World Cup is sustainable? Do you think it's going to be sticking around for a very long time, Ziyaad?
Yeah, because of the money. It's that simple. Look, I mean, there's no good way to do this, man. You put it in a different part of the season, different part of the year, someone's going to complain. And that's a situation with global championships or global competitions, right? The whole world isn't running the same calendar. So sometimes it's going to favor certain continents, sometimes it's not going to favor them. And I think if they're able to keep this, then players will just adapt, man. Look at it this way, right? Every year, we talk about where's the off season. There's no off season. The 1 year it's the Euros, then it's the Olympics, then it's the World Cup, then it's the Club World Cup, and it is what it is, man. I don't see much of an issue. And where I push back a little bit is from the player's perspective. They want all this money. If you go to a player and you ask him, he's gonna say, "I'll play because I'm gonna possibly earn more money." So at the end of the day, we can't always just blame FIFA and the leagues and whoever's taking the money. The players are also benefiting, and they're also making tons of money clubs will just adapt, man. I think that's what's going to happen, and it could actually, in the long run, become quite an interesting competition. I like the platform it gives to the other clubs, not just the European clubs.
I agree there. I also disagree. I think it's not so much the players, because they aren't the ones that are advocating for 500,000 a week. It's agents that are hiking up fees and things of that nature. I think given the current climate and the sort of injuries that came out, and I mean specifically Jamal Musiala, this is a kid that was in his prime playing in a postseason tournament, gets injured. I don't think it was intentional, obviously, but he's now out for what could be 4 or 5 months in a year leading up to the
But
World Cup.
he's still gonna get his money. The club has his salary insured. Like from a
Yeah, but
financial
in
perspective,
terms
it's
of
not much of an issue.
performance, yeah,
But I mean, look, at the end of the day, this could have happened in any type of game, right? You can say postseason for Europe, but for Brazil, it's not postseason. So it's like I said, there's no way that it's gonna work globally for everyone to be happy. And Donnarumma, he could have done it intentionally, unintentionally, it doesn't matter. But you played football at a decent level. The more you try not to get hurt, the more you're actually gonna get hurt, right? When you do something 50-50, or if you play full out and you get hurt, man. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Jude Bellingham delayed his surgery, and he's getting surgery now on his shoulder. He's out for 3 months. So again, the players sometimes make the decisions, the clubs push them, not push them, whatever. And if you say the agents are involved, true, but the agents also want the money, players want the money. I haven't seen anybody say, you know what, I'm not gonna go. Nobody pulled out.
Yeah.
Nobody said, I'll rather not get paid for a month. So I mean, we'll have to see how it goes over time, but I don't think. And it's one of those trophies, right? I was thinking as you were talking earlier, if you win, it's the best tournament ever. So like for Chelsea, obviously, this thing is amazing, right? They won it, so they were always serious, apparently, and whatever the case is. But if you look at Atletico Madrid, they saw they weren't gonna go through, they changed their tune. We weren't really interested, blah blah blah. But if you lose, you say all those things. If you win, you say we always came to win, we wanted to win, we were always in it. And you'll hear from Maresca over time now, if Chelsea start the season off sluggish, then it's because of the Club World Cup. But if they start the season off well and pick up a lot of points and the momentum is there, they'd also spin it and say winning that trophy gave us the momentum to the season with winning habits and all this crap, right? Everything nowadays is just spun. You take what you get and then you make it into something. So I think it's decent. I'm not against the tournament.
I suppose from a player perspective, you're running yourself into the ground, and the longevity that we'll have out of these sort of players is not going to be the same. And it'll be decent for money and stuff, but as a spectacle, it probably will lessen in terms of quality. I think one thing that came out after this, and I'm not sure if it was Maresca himself or one of the Chelsea players, were basically analysing how ordinarily in the preseason they would come to the States and they'd play certain games. So they've basically used this as a chance, and now they'll just stay,
But on the flip side, if the Club World Cup wasn't put in, I'm pretty sure the Confederations Cup would have happened, because they need to do a trial run in the country where the World Cup's going to be. So whichever countries were going to be involved there, you still have people playing some sort of competitive football. I mean, maybe not as much as we had now, but I mean, like with Real Madrid and Man City, it was an opportunity for them to win a trophy and perform well because they had bad seasons, so they could kind of make it up, right? Chelsea basically paid for Pedro by getting to the semi-final. He was already paid off. Giddens got paid off by winning the final. So there's like a lot of good that comes from it for the teams that go far. I mean, the money that the Brazilian team got, Fluminense in the semi, they can now maybe hold on to a player till 21 instead of having to sell him at 18. So there's a kind of glass half full about this tournament.
Yeah, if you look like closer to home as well, I'm pretty sure Sundowns also got a massive payday for
that doesn't help the PSL.
Like PSL. Yeah,
they just gonna buy more players. They already own all the players.
No, but I mean,
So
maybe Pitu pumps that into some of the local, because I mean, he obviously sponsors the league and he's on the
yeah,
CAF board as well. Maybe he can pump some other money into the women's AFCON that's currently going on. Maybe he actually rewards some of their good performances, the under
Yeah.
20s winning regional things. So yeah, no, okay, there's a financial element to it, yeah, but it's just I think because I've played and because there's a sort of understanding of what you put your body through, it's like it's just we'll be having to put up with the fact that the players that we enjoy watching, we won't be able to watch them for as long.
Yeah.
yeah.
Sadly,
Yeah,
but
and
it is what it is, man.
that's how it is, man. We're just gonna keep churning them out, I suppose.
Do you guys think so? Ziyaad, you spoke about momentum starting, like momentum being carried into the season or possible momentum being carried into the season. Do you think that the players that played now in this final, you think majority of them stays around within the Chelsea setup when the season starts? We have heard rumors that like some people might be going out. Robert Sanchez like probably delivered his best performance in a Chelsea jersey in that final. People have been calling for him to be sold. So there's a lot of people who put their hands up, but it's a question about Maresca if he's going to actually keep these players in his team.
I think the smart move is to look past one performance and make a decision on the collective. And Chelsea do need a new number one. But from an opposition fan, if that's the performance that keeps him in the goals, by all means, stay at the club, be the number one, carry on doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? The rest of the team looked fairly settled. I don't think there was anyone that was playing that wouldn't be around other than maybe Sanchez. I mean, it looked like close to their best 11. You could argue that Reece James could move back into defense against weak opposition, and that slot in Lavia or someone in the midfield.
Yeah. I very much agree. On Chelsea's bench, you have Nicholas Jackson, who this morning was linked to Manchester United, and I've seen people commenting on those posts, the Chelsea fans commenting on the post, saying that they would personally pay United just to take Jackson off their hands. So I want to know from Saudi Khan in the chat, if you are still here, let us know how you feel about Nicholas Jackson while we carry on, and we can come back to your comments a bit later. But we're seeing that we are speaking a bit about transfers right now. That's a good segue for us to move into our transfer segment. And I mean, this one's been going on a while, not as long as the Brian Mbeumo one, but this one has been going on a while. Gyokeres has been threatening Sporting. He's had his run-ins with the president. He broke up with his girlfriend, all just to push this move through to Arsenal. So Jason, Ziyaad, you guys can do a rock, paper, scissors over there to see who wants to take this one.
I can take this one. I know we've got a few more coming up as well. So Arsenal's just linked with everybody now. But yeah, I think off the back, it looks like this guy is all but secured. I think how I know that we're moving in this window is when the fans start to track the flights and they start to check. Okay, so this plane has left Sweden, it's landed in London. This is now how I know that Arsenal's a real club again. Something a bit more than the banter. But yeah, I think he comes in with this eagerness to prove himself. A lot's been said about whether the Portuguese league is obviously less quality than, or similar quality to maybe the championship. Goals are goals. If you're going to bang 50, okay, look, maybe Darwin Núñez is one prime example. He scored 55 for Benfica, then he came to the Prem and he couldn't score it all. But I think it's a good intention that the guy is willing to uproot his life so willingly. Maybe he found out something about his girl. Who knows? Maybe it was time to ditch it. But yeah, I think it's 70 in total, which is with add-ons and bonuses coming up. So I don't think we paid quite 70. But yeah, I think it's a good price for what we're possibly going to get. I just want to know if you should pay to bat. But
I think the 70 is the new price now. That's the last stumbling block, because even though the price was lowered, But now the agent he's in London, he's busy negotiating, and they're trying to, because apparently there's 3 add-ons that's easily achievable, and then there's 7 add-ons that's not that easily achievable. So now they fight over those that last little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm seeing, like we mentioned in previous episodes as well, it's a very silly season. Everybody wants to be the first to break a news story and break what the key agreements are. So I'll wait. If it is 70 with add-ons and all of those things, then okay. If it's 70 straight, then I mean, what am I going to do? The Brad's going to sign for my team already. What am I going to say? No. But yeah, I think it's good. It's not. I know we mentioned that we needed the striker, and yes, we'll have him, and it puts us in even better. But there was a lot of stuff that went wrong last season for us. So it's, we'll get the final piece, but then, let's hope that this puzzle is something nice to look at.
Yeah, no, I agree. Ziyaad, does this fill you with any sort of optimism for your team this season?
No comment until I see the picture with him, Arteta and Berta.
Bruh, Berta's been doing a madness, eh? Like, I mean, give the guy his flowers.
Original octopus, bro. That guy is putting out things everywhere. Don't be surprised if we linked with Emil Witbo here at Sundowns even. He'll know somebody here.
It's crazy though. It's crazy. Like that picture of all the players that you guys have signed so far. Crazy.
Yeah.
I wish. How does that feel? And we will move over to this one.
It's really only the first time, and I think this is what we've seen with United is what's happened with Arsenal. Edu want to barbecue too much. Now you got Amorim having to go talk to the players directly.
Yeah, I know.
Is that Mbeumo or IQ? Who's that picture?
Yeah, I wonder where IQ is now.
Stand up.
Yeah, now you see the guy actually join the stream here also. Yeah, no, this is crazy, guys. Like, I mean, it's going on 7 weeks now, and the word today is that Brentford ended up like taking the 65 mil valuation that they initially had, and they raised it to 70 now, and that's the latest like hurdle and obstacle that United have to deal with. They're basically putting their foot down that they don't want to play that, and I think if by the end of this week this doesn't happen, I think that they walk away from it, because they wanted they identified Mbeumo and Cunha as their 2 like flagship players to bring in this window, and they got in Cunha very early, but with Mbeumo, I think there is an alternative for him. They want the 2 players to be on the plane to the USA by Monday when they leave. And I think that leaves about 3 or 4 days left in the week to get something in. I won't be surprised if they go for a free agent, somebody like Vlahovic, who is, I think, over the hill. Like, I think that hype and that craze is gone. Juventus wants to cut all ties with him. But I won't be surprised if United end up going for a free agent in the event that Mbeumo doesn't sign.
Why not just cut the losses then? I mean, if you're going to go, you can go off. Because now Brentford want to sign Omari Hutchinson.
But I mean, everyone knows he's not worth 70.
Yeah.
It's like a complete overpay. And the only reason Brentford wants 70 because they're like, you paid 70 for Cunha, who came from a team who finished lower than Brentford, and he scored way less goals than Mbeumo already. So, and they're also under no pressure to sell, right? There's no reason to sell. So why should you just give in? It doesn't make any sense. And Vlahovic, I don't think he goes out of Italy. I think he'll just do what a lot of those players do in the Serie A, just move to Napoli or Inter or AC, because he likes Italy from what I hear. But I mean, I don't know, Mbeumo. I mean, this whole Mbeumo thing reminds me of Wilfred Bonny. He was so good at Swansea, and when he went to City, he was just out of his depth. It didn't work out, and I think United will dodge a bullet if they don't do this deal, because that's a lot of money.
It
So
is a
the
lot,
thing is,
but I think,
no,
sorry,
go
Ed,
ahead, Joseph.
he boosts the overall quality that United currently have. Like, I mean, if I'm looking at 70 versus like Brian Mbeumo's output versus Anthony's output, it was chalk and cheese, and Anthony had to leave and he had to go find himself there in Spain. What this gives you is somebody that's possibly, or not possibly, that's prem proven, ready to take the next step, and would be eager enough to be that main guy because there apparently isn't many at United right now. So it would be a good move, but 100% agree. 70 mil for him, you can rather go buy Cape Town City. It's around about the same price.
You say
I think if
United
we
can
look
add
back at
that
it,
to the network.
if we
Yeah,
look back at it this time next season, and he didn't sign, I think United fans will probably be happy now. But you don't know that yet. We'll see.
Yeah. There's another guy, like, I mean, Garnacho, he wants to leave United. So players like Garnacho, Rashford, Anthony, who else? Jadon Sancho, they're all trying to actively leave United. So there's money
Yeah.
that's definitely going to come in from player sales, but nobody really wants to bid for these players because they know
Yeah.
that they want to leave. So they're gonna pay pennies for them, and United are hoping to get a bit more. Somebody like the Napoli president, he's like twerking all week for Garnacho, and he's saying that, like, Garnacho, he will do amazing things here in Italy. He'll come to the Serie A, and all the other Man United players who come to the Serie A, like, they end up thriving. So I'm like, okay, cool, you do that. Then I don't understand, like, how United's not trying to broker a deal between Napoli and United for Osimhen. Then, like, maybe try to get a huge chunk of that transfer fee off, and then you only have to deal with these big wages. But
I
yeah,
don't
I mean,
understand. Nobody wants Osimhen, so there must be something we don't know, because
Yeah.
no team other than the Turkish teams have come in for him in Saudi. So why does nobody want him? It makes no sense, because there's
Yeah.
definitely stuff we don't know. Otherwise, it makes no sense why nobody's in for him.
I think it was
Yeah.
wages there, and that would probably
I
disrupt the
think
whole structure that you have in there at United if you were to get him.
he wants
If
half
you
and
ask
half.
him,
He wants literally 500K a week.
yeah, but Galatasaray is not giving him that, are they?
No, but that's the whole
Uh,
reason why they aren't keeping him as well, because he's obviously on loan there, isn't it?
No, they
no,
made a
no.
bid now to make him permanent.
They want to buy him permanently.
There's nobody else
yeah.
coming for the bra. So it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, no, then I'm not sure. But also,
Yeah.
it's a sort of character that could possibly bang, or he could disrupt whatever Amorim might
Yeah.
want to do there. It's when
I'm not even talking about United. I'm saying all teams. Like,
In
yeah,
nobody
general.
in
Yeah.
Spain wants him. Nobody in
yeah,
Italy wants him. Nobody in England wants
yeah,
him.
must be somewhere
Nobody
else
in
as well.
like,
Dude,
you know what I mean? Like, he's going nowhere. So it's a weird one because he's such a good player.
nah, fair play.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a couple of days to look forward to this one. United fans in the chat, don't be too optimistic, because you know how hurt comes for us every time. Another United transfer is Martinez, and I know you guys aren't his biggest fan. I'm not a big fan of his either. I just don't like his attitude, man, and I feel like he's like one of those Luis Suarez guys.
Yeah.
Like, he will be absolutely loved by the team that he plays for, but then the opposition just like absolutely hates him. And while he was at Villa, every game that he played against United, he would like taunt all of our players. And I don't know, man. Like, I'm not on board with this transfer. What do you guys think?
Immediate upgrade from Andre Onana, isn't it? So you can look past that, and again we talk about how insufferable they are when they're not at our club. But if he plays for your team, you're obviously happy to have some wind-up merchant like that. Now, you can say all of that, but then you can also say that since the World Cup, the form that he showed pre-World Cup is not the same, and his
Yeah.
level has maybe dipped. So maybe he needs to take a change of scenery somewhere. Whether it's United, where he'll be plundered with shots every game, that's something else. Villa do have European football, right? Or
Yeah.
Did they finish
Europa
outside?
League, I
Yeah.
think. Europa
Europa
League.
League, yeah. So look, you really need to. I mean, for him, it's definitely something to weigh up whether he wants to play good European football or whether he just wants to kind of help United get back on track. Onana has acted without anything to back it up. Wow, guys, that's my future wife right there. Okay. Yeah. So look, sign him up. But what my biggest thing is, where's this money coming from? Which budget are we
Ali,
going to take it out of? Is it going to be out of the marketing budget? Because the food's already been cut, and I think Luke Shaw has lasted longer in preseason already. So that's
No,
good. But where's the money coming from?
mate, we
million
are going to
levers.
follow Barcelona's. Yeah, I was just going to say we're following Barcelona's
Sell the rights and
form.
the
Yeah,
rights of everybody's children off just to get money.
Bro, they have money, man. The thing is, like I said last week, I think, or the week before, their stock price went up, and it keeps going up for
yeah,
some reason. So they've got money. It would be a good signing, I think. Definitely upgrade on Onana. My only concern is, like you said, his performances have dipped since the World Cup, and I
Yeah.
think a big red flag for me is, why is Villa trying to get rid of him? Do Villa really need that money to come in to balance the books or something? Because it is strange to actively try and move a player on who's actually done so well for your club, unless again you know something that other people don't know, or he's just got to the end of his line with Villa and it's time to move in a different direction. Either way, I think
yeah,
United could deal with a character like him as long as he can back up whatever he says and does with actually keeping the ball out of the net. Because when you put those two together, it can have a good effect on the team. But if you're chirping everybody and you're letting goals in,
yeah.
it's going to be a long
You
one,
see, like
long season.
towards the end of last season, there was this period where he was actively like looking to leave Villa, like, or at least
Mm,
those were the reports that were coming out. Then he
yeah.
was linked with Saudi. He was linked to a
Yeah.
couple of Turkish clubs.
Mm,
So it's not even that like it's a post-season thing. This was happening while he was still at Villa, while he was
But then he should
still like
just go to Inter
competing.
Miami and join his friend Messi.
yeah.
And Javier Mascherano.
Yeah, because the
So
Rodrigo
yeah,
de
like
Paul is signed there now.
yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. Like Onana's injured for the first like month and a half of the season. So
Mm.
I can understand them looking
Yeah.
for another keeper. There is Matej Kovar, who came from our academy.
My
We
bro,
sold him
United
to
then have
Bayer
a guy that
Leverkusen.
weighs the number one. What's that Turkish, bruh?
Behind
Yeah, so why are they looking for other keepers? That's the
I
number.
don't know.
complacency. Performance happens when there's no competition in that position. Okay, that Christopher Titus said it best, and that's coming from an actual goalkeeper. Um, so yeah, I don't know, but Onana's gonna come back after a month, and he's probably gonna be striker. So yeah, maybe you should get another keeper because that man showed
Yeah,
in his first season that he is a striker.
we saw what happened in that AFCON game, or what it was a African friendly with
Yeah,
Cameroon, and then he ran all the way the full length of the pitch to go tell Mbeumo where to place the free kick. So
beautiful.
yeah, you never know. Anything is
Fabian
possible with
Barthez
Onana.
vibes. Fabian Barthez, that mad energy.
The next one, and we're back to Arsenal again. Jason took the first one. Ziyaad, you want to take the lead on this one?
Of course, man. You know, I like my defenders. Good signing. I think he played almost the whole of the season with Valencia. So I think he played 37 of the 38 games. The highest minutes above Lamine Yamal actually in Spain for player 21 and under, I think. He was
Yeah.
second in duels or one-on-ones. So he's a really good defender in there. Similar, I think, to the Saliba signing, where it's just another option to have if there's injuries and so on. And also, Arsenal do struggle a bit with that one-on-one defending. So to get a guy like this in, it definitely adds to the team, as opposed to, guys like Kivio and Kivio is good, but he's not dynamic enough. So a younger player with more pace, he's got good recovery, good in duels. I think is a very, very good signing with the eye to the future more than anything else.
Yeah, I think it's also, I mean, look, I'm not going to, again, similar to what Ayo said last week, that he's not going to claim to have watched that Xavi Guerra, you know. But what I've seen is that he, again, has that functional flexibility to play right across the back line. So it's not Arteta's out-and-out left-back that he signs every transfer window. But we did also terminate Takahiro Tomiyasu's contract because he's only going to be back in 4 months' time. So he's been very unfortunate with injuries. We've let Kieran Tierney go. So, yeah, it's that extra cover. He's used to playing quite a lot of minutes, so that also means that he can slot in if we do need it. And, yeah, maybe that lessens that load on Saliba. But, yeah, young player, get him at a decent price, I think. And, yeah, Andre Berta has changed my life. And Andrea Berta has changed my life tenfold.
Yeah, this should have been Aiden Evans' spot in the squad, right? But he went to go play for United.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
He didn't want to leave though. Like in all fairness, he wanted to stay at Arsenal, but
it was an easier pathway at Old Trafford. Yeah.
That
Path
was
of least
Chido
resistance.
Obi wanted to go, whereas Heaven was like he was like sad that he had to leave Arsenal.
But it's
Okay.
look, so again, it's, I mean, even Chido Obi, if there's a pathway for you at a different Premier League club and you're gonna get
Yeah, you
minutes,
should
which
go.
Heaven's done and Chido's done, then do it. You can rather go get that experience if that's really what you are after. If you're ready to wait a turn, by the time, hone the sort of craft behind, I think, two of the better centre backs in the league, then do it. But if you want to go and get minutes, then fine. Nothing wrong with that.
No, that's fine. All right. This is our second last one, and we have Palhinha. He is trying to leave Bayern at the moment, so obviously his agent is trying to shop him around to the Premier League clubs. I don't think that there's any truth to the United links because I can't see United having 30 million to spend on a midfielder. But what has come out this week for Tottenham is that they are interested in a money plus player deal, and the two players that they are interested in sending are Ayes Basuma and Rodrigo Bentancur. So one of the two of them could be on their way out of the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and Palhinha might be back. I mean, he had his stint at Fulham, so he's not a newcomer to the Premier League. Jason, what do you think about this deal?
I think questions possibly have to be asked about Bayern's recruitment, firstly. I think they paid like 55 mil. Now they're letting him go for, I saw something close to like 25 to this 30. So, yeah, that's one. Two, I think the Spurs players get the better end of the stick here, isn't it? They get to go to Bayern Munich and go play Champions League football. So, yeah, I think it would be a good acquisition. I'm trying to think of Thomas Frank's team at Brentford, and he had somebody similar, in maybe Christian Norgard, who's now at Arsenal. So the type of player profile would suit Spurs. To lose either one of those other midfielders might be a bit tricky, especially with them now going to Champions League with the new formats and maybe possibly wanting to compete a bit more. But if that's the only way to get this, I think it would be a good signing for them. A player probably that Man United should have signed before he went to Bayern. But if you somehow manage to sell all those guys that we mentioned earlier and there is money, I would prioritize this and possibly another creative player and then make do with Bahinda for now and then get like 60% of the spine right, because this is really what's been pressing. This is what's been holding back United. So if there is a play, I'd say go for it, but could see him working at Spurs actually pretty well.
Yeah, no. And the thing is, there were so many games last season where Spurs were crying out for that steal in midfield. The season before, Sa and Basuma, they had this like really good communication, and they formed that spine in the Spurs midfield, and then that sort of like faded away as time went on. And last season they were just non-existent. Like there were times when Basuma would start and Sa would be on the bench, and then both of them would be on the bench, and Bentancur would start with like Madison in a deeper role. And So I think that they need some extra steel in that midfield, and like you said, Thomas Frankie has a player profile that he probably needs in his team, and this one would be a good fit. Ziyaad, any thoughts from you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really good player. Very good on the ball. And Jason, you mentioned the recruitment thing. So I wanted to say about that is I think when Bayern recruited him, they had a different manager. And then company came in and changed it a bit. And it's probably a lesson for clubs to think about when the recruitment takes place is, the manager, right? Because Spurs have just changed managers now. So they want to offload players the manager might not want and get players that fit his profile. Same thing with United. They got the guy from PSG who's been a bit of a miss. Kobe Mino as his development kind of hit a bit of a wall at the moment because again the managers change. So when it comes to these type of deals, sometimes teams are overpaying because the manager really wants the player. When you kind of have to build the identity of the team first, and then the players in and out. So I think it'd be good for him to come back to the Premier League and just come slot into a Spurs midfield. Where I think there'll probably be a little less pressure than going. But yeah, he's definitely a good player.
Yeah, I agree. Final transfer that we will speak about, and Nikita came in asking about Alexander Isak. But we covered that the last episode when you were here, Nikita, so we won't be talking about that again. But we have Hugo Ekitike, and he is linked with Newcastle and Liverpool. With Newcastle, probably in the event that Isak goes to Liverpool, and then with Liverpool in the event that they don't get Isak. So I think both teams, after this deal is complete, both teams would end up still having a really good striker. But the difference with Ekitike is the fact that he's not proven in the Premier League, so you don't know if he's going to hit the ground running over there. Jason, thoughts on this transfer?
Yeah, look, the fact that Liverpool are still using of Coutinho's money, that's definitely a good use of budget. If all of the rumors are true and how they've operated, I think it's pretty ballsy from them, but also really good. I wouldn't say really good, but they've just basically put that ultimatum forward. They're either gonna get Isak or they're gonna take Ekitike, but Newcastle's not gonna keep both, which is crazy actually, because there's nothing wrong with it. It's just like I don't think Liverpool have ever been known to do this sort of thing, where they
It's a
actually
nice little triangle.
it is, yeah. So it's like okay, and I'm not even sure if they can use Darwin as like a yardstick as well, for Frankfurt as well. They say, okay, if Isak's not coming, then I'm gonna take Ekitike, but then we can also get you can also get Darwin Nunes. He's now just cut his hair, so you don't do put too much of that into the budget and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it'll be a good signing for Newcastle to have Ekitike with Isak. I don't think it will happen. I see that Liverpool probably do get Isak, and then Ekitike goes there. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to watch, just to see that power dynamic playoff, especially since Newcastle also have Champions League, right? Or they have European football. So
Champions League.
Champions
Champions
League,
League, yeah. That's it's an interesting one to watch. Outside all of my clubs things, I'm definitely going to be watching this one specifically to see how it plays out.
Nikita's getting a bit too greedy here. She wants Isak and Ekitike. I don't think that's going to happen. Any final thoughts before we close the transfer segment, guys? I think we lost Jason.
Yeah, I don't know what he was saying there. He was trying to say something or what.
Man, sounded a bit robotic.
The cold got to him. I think he's frozen out. He's back.
There we go.
Am I back?
Yeah, you are back.
Okay,
just in time.
Just in time.
Just in time for the final segment. So this final segment, over the last few weeks, you would have done that because it's off season, we are trying some different like closing segments to the show. And today, because it's pre-season, we are each going to pick our top 3 warm-up warriors. And what a warm-up warrior is somebody who has an absolute worldie of note in pre-season, but then when it comes to the Premier League or when the actual season starts, then they can't really do anything. They find themselves on the bench. So we are all going to each of us are going to pick 3 players. I don't know, do you guys? I think we can do the same way that Jason did last week. Two people, and the next one goes their 2 picks, and the final one 2 picks, and then everybody gets 1 pick to end it off. Ziyaad, I'm going to start with you.
Throwing me in the deep end here, brother. So it's a tough one to find because I honestly, yo, Tahir, don't talk nonsense, bro. Since when was I
Wow. Wow.
What nonsense, my
And
bro.
now it comes out. Wow.
Check here.
That's not really
Jesus.
denying it.
Are there pictures? Share the pictures.
I don't know where this comes from, but if someone had to tell me I was a Chelsea fan before, I would take that over having been in United. And I remember my uncle tried to buy me one year. Went to his house, gave me a talk bag, and he's like, "This is got a whole lot of kit in, shirts, ball, gloves, whatever." He joined the team, and I was like, "Nah, it's alright." But back to what AF asked, a couple of players, doing research for this was tough. But I'll start with Gabriel Jesus. I think every preseason when he's fit, he gives us something interesting to bite on. He has a winning mentality player, and then not even 6 weeks later he's injured or something. So he's definitely one of those for me. I think that first season at Arsenal he was really good, and we were doing quite well. But he got injured in December. But since then it's just been a promising preseason, and then injuries and bad performances later. So that's my first pick. Now I'm just trying to decide who I'm going to annoy: Chelsea, United, or Liverpool. Let me take United, the low-hanging fruit. Anthony Martial, 22-23. That was a brilliant one for me because very similar to what we were talking about with Robert Sanchez. Everyone wanted Martial out of the door. And then he had a brilliant preseason, 22-23, and the club decided to keep him. And he did absolutely nothing afterwards. So, yeah, Anthony Martial, 22-23 season, and Gabriel Jesus, the past two out of the last 3 seasons, I think.
Nah, that's solid picks to start us off. If you have any picks in the chat, then put it down, and then we'll display it on the screen afterwards. Jason, I'm gonna head to you next.
Sticking to the low-hanging fruit theme here, and I'm sure AF's got him on his list as well. Preseason Perlo. The guy got a nickname, Andreas Pereira. Every preseason, without fail, this guy is pushing Pogba to the limit. He was pushing, scoring worldy free kicks, volleys, all of this. And then the next thing, the guy had to go to the doctor because he had so much splinters from sitting on the bench. So, that's definitely one. I want to go with a more recent one from Chelsea. I think possibly Christopher Nkunku. So coming from Leipzig, he did really well. Last season, specifically in the preseason, I think he got 3 goals, 1 assist. He played the most minutes. And then, I don't know if it was frozen out or if it was just a bit of an injury that came about and he couldn't regain the form. But I think he started really hot. Things were looking up for him, and then suddenly he just faded out. And I wouldn't say... I'm actually afraid to ask how many balloons he has at his place because, his trademark celebration wasn't used much. So the balloon contract that he signed at the start of the season probably didn't yield as much as previous seasons. But those are my 2.
No, that's a cool one. The Nkunku, I think he got injured the 3rd last game of the preseason, and then he was out for like a month and a half or so. So that definitely had a bit of a domino effect on his season. But yeah, good picks. With me, I'm gonna do a bit of a throwback, and I mentioned this one to you guys earlier, and that's Darren Bent. He had like a couple of seasons where I think one of his seasons, 2008, 2009, the guy scored like 12 goals in preseason, and then he came to the actual season and he scored 12 goals in the entire season. So that was like 12 goals in like 40 games compared to like 12 goals in 6 games. So yeah, that's definitely one that like stands out for me. And then another one, and this guy, like, I mean, I'm taking Andres Pereira off my list because I don't really want to repeat. But Marco van Ginkel, man, that guy, he would come back to Chelsea every season and you'd play every single game of the preseason. And then the moment the preseason is done, it's like, okay, looking for a new club again for him. And then he goes to that club, he doesn't really perform, comes back to Chelsea. It was a proper cycle for about like what, 9 years, 8 or 9 years. And then he was
Yeah.
finally taken off the books.
But I think that was a period of time when Chelsea were doing it with a lot of players. They were using preseason to push their value up and then send them out on loan. And then that loan ruling came in not too long afterwards because of their loan army. So yeah, he's a good
And the
example of
Chelsea
that.
making nonsense for everybody.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So those are mine, Darren Bent and Marco van Ginkel. I will start the last one, and my last one is a player that's still currently playing, and a player that I absolutely love, and I still think he's going to come right, and that's Rasmus Højlund. Every preseason, this guy looks amazing. He looks good, and then the actual season starts, and this is the season, guys. I'm gonna be that
Nah,
guy. I'm gonna be that
bruh,
guy right now. I'm
you are
gonna
trauma bonded to that man so deep. You don't even realize they're gonna have to.
I
Yo,
will I will go to war for this bruh. Like he's my bruh. But okay, Ziyaad or Jason next.
yeah. So I've got one honorable mention. Just okay. No, let me give you my one, and then we'll have some honorable mentions after. Right. I'm gonna go 2018 Hudson Odoi. Now, I'm not going to go too hard on him because he was also 17 years old, right? But he had an amazing preseason, and there were talks of him replacing Hazard. Eden, half Belgium, half South African Hazard. And then he just faded out, and I'm so happy that he's actually found some form and he's found some love for the game again now at Nottingham Forest. But I remember that preseason because I think he played against Arsenal and he did some really big damage there. And then you heard nothing of him. Maybe the first two games, and then the season was done. So yeah,
Yeah, and like what was the fee that Bayern wanted to pay for him eventually? I think that there was like some big number when he was
like
linked
40
with
or
Bayern.
50. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was still a kid that time.
Mm.
Ziyaad?
But when Jason said 2018, I was like, oh no, I literally only have one player left on my list. Hope he doesn't take it. So for me, 2018, 2019, Daniel Sturridge. 6 goals, 2 assists in preseason. And then the rest of, the entire season, he played 27 games and only got 4 goals and 2 assists. So that would be a pick from me.
That was
Nice
Liverpool, right?
one.
Yeah, Liverpool.
That was. I'm surprised nobody went for Yaya Sanogo. I mean,
Yeah.
the Wonder Kid.
Nah,
You
because that guy.
took the United version of him, so it's alright.
Yeah. And then like I had 1 year as well. Franco De Santo, another guy who would
Vegan.
look good
Wasn't he at
in
Chelsea?
he was at Chelsea. This is the one
Yeah.
that I'm talking about. With Chelsea, you look good in
Yeah.
preseason, but then you wouldn't really get off the bench during the actual season. But yeah, I think that wraps up the segment.
Wait,
Hope you
man.
guys,
One
anybody,
honorable mention, right, is the streets won't forget. Maybe Ziyaad remembers him. Gideon Zilalem played for
Yeah.
Arsenal. American kid. I mean, Wenger said this guy could be the best player we've had since Fabregas. And let me tell you, he turned up in Hong Kong. And then I never saw that
Stayed there.
Braga. I never saw, and now I think he's playing like lower league football in like the US or something. I don't know. The streets will never forget Ibrahim is never. Such a able player on his day.
Yeah, there were actually a few oaks like that. Like United had this guy Dong Fan Zuo, the Asian oak, and they used to like cash in on his popularity when they used to go to China and like the Asian tours for preseason. So he used to be their poster boy. Yeah, it's crazy marketing. But yeah, that is all for this episode of 343. Thanks to everybody in the chat. I think there was only one pick that was sent in the chat for preseason, and Rami said it's Rashford. I don't know how that can how that can be a warm up warrior, but we'll
Rashford
take it
does
anyways.
poorly in the preseason, and then he carries United through the whole season. So I think we
Yeah,
must put that one under
like the
advisement.
reverse. Yeah, the
Mm.
reverse. Yeah, thank you guys for joining us today. Jason, where can the people find you?
Well, this weekend I'll be on the couch. I'll be watching golf. But I'll try to commentate as well. So at Jason_Ronnie on X. Yeah, we are playing, or we are watching a tournament that is in the UK. So the time zone works perfectly. It's just an hour,
Yes,
as
sir.
opposed to watching it in America, and it's like 6 to 7 hours. So yeah, that's where I'll be. And yeah, I'll be eagerly following all these transfers. So let us know if you want us to follow any of them as well. We can chat about them.
Nice one, nice one. Ziyaad, where can the people find you on the socials of the medias?
Yeah, mostly Blue Sky, but on Threads, I'll also be watching the golf this weekend with Jason. And quick shout out here, we didn't have Mr. Bray today. Mohammed Hanif Bray, where are you, sir? This is a roll call. We
I
need you
scared him
back.
away last week, man. Yeah.
Nah, it's because his neighbor wasn't on, so maybe he's protesting. I don't know. We need to get to the
Mm.
bottom of this. So Bray, please come back. Other thing, yeah, just a lot of other sports, a lot of things happening. I just saw now actually breaking news for the basketball guys. Bradley Beal got his contract bought out, so his team basically paid him $110 million to leave the team. So United, if you want to get rid of your players, that is an option. Arsenal did it with Aubameyang and a couple of others. You don't have to keep them and
Everybody
force
else.
other people to buy them when
Yeah.
nobody wants to buy these players at the price you want them to. But anyway, so that's some breaking news from the NBA.
Nice. And you can find all of those updates on the Sportycast Twitter channels, on the Threads channels, on Blue Sky. Ziyaad updates all of those things daily. So yeah, give us a follow on all of those social media platforms. You can find us on Instagram as well at Sportycast, and drop us a like and a 5-star rating on our Spotify and Apple Music podcast as well. But yeah, that's all from us. I'm at AFParker642 on all social media platforms. But yeah, I probably won't be on next week. These guys will be running the show with Riaz. So enjoy that. And
Exactly, Ramis.
I'll
Where is Riaz?
Nobody knows. Maybe he's doing preseason in
Riaz
London or
Riaz disappeared tonight.
We need to
Riaz
start a
disappeared
campaign to
tonight.
find him.
But yeah, that's all from us. Thanks so much for everybody in the chat, and we'll catch you guys again. Cheers.